When I was first new to entrepreneurship, I thought I gotta work hard, I gotta grind, I gotta hustle. So I would work hard, I would stay busy, but I never asked myself this question. Okay, I'm busy, but busy doing what? And here's what the employee mindset says. It says you gotta trade time for money. So we get this conception that if I work more hours, I should get more money for my business from it. That's not true though. Trading time for money might work in employment when you're an employee in a company. But entrepreneurs can only trade results and value for money. That's it. And many times people distract themselves with hard work, which takes them away from smart work. Okay, welcome to our channel, everyone. It's amazing to have you with us. Today, I'm gonna talk about the 5 major mistakes I made my first year as an entrepreneur. I've been fortunate enough to have built a massive business in the financial industry where I've had a chance to help many people and build an amazing financial life for myself at the same time. And I wanted to share with you things that I did in my first year that looking back now, I wish somebody had given me some guidance, or maybe they had and I didn't listen. But either way, I wish I knew these before so that I didn't make these mistakes. And I wanted to make this video so all of you who are maybe just getting started in entrepreneurship, maybe it's your first year, maybe it's your second year, maybe it's your third year, you can get some benefits hopefully from what I'm saying. Remember something. The whole point of learning from other people, whether it's mentors that work with you directly, whether it's videos like this that you watch, is so that you don't have to go through what they went through. If you're gonna make the same mistakes that I made, that your mentors made, then what the heck is the point of learning a mentorship? The whole point of this is so you don't have to make our mistakes, so you can do what we did, hopefully faster or even more efficient. So let's get right into it. One of the major mistakes that I made in my first year as an entrepreneur is I got advice from the wrong people. The truth is, when you get started in a new journey, there's a lot of doubts, there's a lot of fears, there's a lot of unknowns. So a lot of the times we share our problems or our concerns with many different people, even people who don't have results in the same area that we're seeking advice in. And what that does is it gives those people a chance to share their opinions. And although they mean well, although they want to help us, because they don't have the results that we want, because they haven't gone through what we're going to go through, they end up giving advice a lot of the times that maybe sounds good, but in reality doesn't work. And I remember in my first year as an entrepreneur, I got distracted and I started going down the wrong paths many times because I listened to people who meant well, but I had no credibility or authority in the area that I needed advice in because they hadn't already done it. So one thing that I learned from that is only take opinion and advice from people who you would want to trade places with. Meaning, if you want to get a better financial life, get advice from people who have great financial results. If you want to get better in your relationships, intimate relationships, get advice from people who have results in that area. You want to get better in fitness, get advice from people who have the results that you want in the area that you want to improve on, which in this case is fitness. So the key is, don't take advice from everyone, only take advice from people who you want to trade places with in that area that you want an advice in. Here is the second major mistake that I made in my first year of entrepreneurship. I thought hard work alone will get me to success. Here's the reality. You need work ethic to start the journey of success. I would say work ethic is the ticket that gets you into the game. But in order to win the game, in order to complete your journey to success, hard work alone will not do it. And the reason a lot of people think, if I just keep working hard, things will work out, is because we're coming from a background of an employee mindset. Even if you were never an employee before, we all are programmed to think like employees because the majority of people around us, our associations, are employees. And here's what the employee mindset says. It says you gotta trade time for money. So we get this conception that if I work more hours, I should get more money for my business from it. That's not true though. Trading time for money might work in employment when you're an employee in a company. But entrepreneurs can only trade results and value for money. That's it. The only thing you can trade for money as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is value and results. And many times people distract themselves with hard work, which takes them away from smart work. Here's what I believe. In order to truly be successful, you gotta do 3 things and you gotta do it at the highest levels. So you gotta outwork, out-strategize, and out-improve. But so many people do the first part, but they don't do the next 2. And let me tell you what this translates to. What it translated to me. When I was first new to entrepreneurship, I thought I gotta work hard, I gotta grind, I gotta hustle. So I would work hard, I would stay busy, but I never asked myself this question. Okay, I'm busy, but busy doing what? I was distracting myself by being busy, and I was distracting myself from the changes that I needed to make, either in my skill set at the time or in my strategy that would have really got me my results. So that's the first thing. Here's another thing that this hard work mentality got me in the trap of. It made me not be strategic with how I take care of myself as an entrepreneur. Here's the reality of it. If you look at athletes, yes, they train hard. Yes, they hit the gym. Yes, Kobe Bryant worked out 3 times a day. All of it. That's all true. But I promise you, Kobe Bryant worked just as hard in recovery as he did in his activities to become a better basketball player. And recovery is just as important for entrepreneurs as it is for athletes. So when you just work, when your mentality is, I just gotta trade more time for money, you end up overworking yourself in many cases and you get burnt out. Let's say you're in sales. What is the greatest thing you have to do in sales in order to become successful? You gotta have the ability to transfer energy to your customers. If you're depleted, if you're burnt out, if you got nothing left because you're just so busy being busy, what energy are you gonna transfer? In entrepreneurship, creativity is required. You gotta be out strategizing your competition. If you're so busy running the rat race of trading time for money, when do you have time to sit down and actually strategize and figure out what are some things you can do to get exponential growth? Because let me share something with you. Hard work will give you linear growth. Yes, if you work hard long enough, eventually the results will come, but it will not give you exponential growth. Exponential growth can only come if you have all 3 combinations that I mentioned earlier. Outwork, out-strategize, and out-improve. So ask yourself this question. Yeah, I'm busy, but busy doing what? Here's the 3rd mistake that I made as an entrepreneur. Being a know-it-all. I don't know why I was so cocky. Actually, I do know why I was so cocky. The reason I was so cocky my first year as an entrepreneur at the age of 20, even though I had never achieved success in entrepreneurship, was because I was so insecure. I was insecure because I didn't think that I was where I needed to be. I was insecure because I didn't think that I was good enough. I was insecure because I thought, man, I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but why isn't it working? And that insecurity put a shield in front of me and my mentors. It put a shield in front of me and listening and learning and really understanding the changes that I need to make to become successful. So if I could go back, I would tell my younger version of myself, get over yourself. Put aside the ego, put aside the insecurities, and listen. You're new to this, focus on learning, focus on becoming better, and the results will come. Stop trying to chase the money, stop trying to chase the results. Take a step back and pay attention. Start listening to other people. Let me teach you one thing that I wish I had taught myself when I was 20. When you talk, you're sharing information you already know. When you listen, you're able to take in new information that you never knew before. So later on, when I was 23, 3 years after I started in entrepreneurship, I learned this message. And you know how I learned it? Life kicked my butt. I had to learn it the hard way. I hope you don't have to. But the reason I became coachable, the reason I became someone that started listening and learning from others was because life beat the crap out of me and it beat the ego out of me. I hope that doesn't have to happen to you, but it happened to me. I hit rock bottom. And when I was in rock bottom, I looked around and I said, look, maybe the reason I ended up here is because I'm not listening to enough people. Maybe the reason I ended up here is because I wanted to do it all myself and take all the credit and take all. So I took a step back and I said, look, I got 2 ears and I got 1 mouth for a reason. Because I gotta listen 2 times more than I talk. And I made that change when I was 23. And I'm telling you, that was the beginning of a lot of the successes that came after it. So don't be a know-it-all, be coachable, be willing to learn, and actually make it a primary focus. Then in your first 2 years of entrepreneurship, focus more on getting better, getting more skills, getting more ideas, getting more learning, and be patient and the results will come. Of course, take action on everything that you learn, because if you don't take action, nothing changes. But be patient with the results and highly urgent with learning and taking action on what you learn. Here's the next one. Not hiring people fast enough. And I get it. Listen, I get it. Trust me, if you don't think I get it, I get it. I was broke as hell when I started in entrepreneurship. I know you feel the same way. Man, I'm already in debt. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How am I gonna hire someone? I know what you're thinking. I was thinking the same thing. Trust me, I get it. But let me tell you something. If you look at business owners, any business owner out there who's become highly successful, they got into a lot of debt before they start getting a lot of profit. I'm not saying you should get into debt. But what I'm saying is business requires investment initially for return eventually. I'm gonna say that one more time. Business requires investment initially and return on that investment eventually. When you're an employee, you get back exactly what you put in immediately. You give your employer time and your employer gives you a paycheck immediately. Entrepreneurship doesn't work like that. In entrepreneurship, you invest a lot of your time and energy, a lot of your capital for many years before you get the return on results for it. That's why most people don't become successful entrepreneurs, because they don't have that delayed gratification of waiting. But here's the reality. You gotta actually put something in to get something out eventually. So if you're in business and you're trying to save money right now, you're not taking the right strategy. I get it. Logically, it makes sense to want to save money, to not want to get into debt. But I'm telling you, with business, it requires you to give a lot in the beginning, even things that you don't have. Many entrepreneurs have to borrow money. Many entrepreneurs have to get into debt before they get return on it. And many people listening to me right now, you got into student debt, no problem. You didn't think twice when you got that student loan because your parents validated it, other people clapped for you. So why can't you do it with your business? Because you don't have that same validation. The same people that clapped for you to get into a $60,000 debt to get into university and most of the time get a degree that maybe wasn't so useful are not clapping for you when it comes to investing in your business. So that's why you don't do it. But you gotta get over the need of that validation and start, like I said earlier, out strategizing. And one of the ways you can out strategize is hire people so you can delegate things that don't make you money in your business. Let me teach you something really quick. There is only 3 to 4 things in any business that make that business profit. In any business you look at, there's 3 to maximum 5 things that will bring that business more revenue and profit. As a business owner, all your attention and focus needs to go on those 3 to 5 things. Anything outside of those 3 to 5 things, you should be delegating. But hire people and hire people faster. Don't try to cheap out and save money on your business. One of the things that I always tell my team, because I mentor a lot of people, I teach them how to become business owners. If you want this thing to pay you millions of dollars a year, if you want this thing to pay you $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 a month, you gotta treat it like $100,000 to $200,000 a month business. But so many people get into business and they treat it like a hobby, they treat it like a job, and they actually get disappointed when it pays them at the same level. Let me tell you something, hobbies don't pay out that much. So if you're gonna treat your business like a hobby, it's not gonna pay you much. But if you treat it like a real business and if you put in exactly what you expect to get out eventually, you're gonna be very rich and you're gonna be very successful, and it's gonna be a lot less harder for you than it is for your competition because you're out strategizing, you're out improving while they're just working. Here is the 5th major mistake that I made. I was being forceful, not influential. Let me say that one more time. I was being forceful, not influential. Sometimes you get into entrepreneurship and you get into business and you're someone who's an A-type personality, you're a go-getter, you're driven, and you get into this headspace of wanting to force people to do things. Maybe you want to force your employees to work a certain level. Maybe you want to force your business partners to do certain things. Maybe you want to force your clients to take on certain recommendations that you make to them. Force will only get you to one place, a lonely entrepreneur. Force will get you only into one position, someone who has no other person working with them, because no one wants to work with a dictatorial, forceful type of person. And I made that mistake my first year, and that's why I lost so many good people in my first year as an entrepreneur. I lost a lot of good potential business partners. I lost a lot of good potential clients that could have given me a lot of referrals. I lost a lot of good potential employees that could have really helped me out because I was being too forceful instead of influential. And let me teach you one major thing that can make you a more influential person versus a forceful person. Meet people where they're at and then help influence them to get to where you want them to get to. I'll say that one more time. Meet people where they're at and influence them to get to where you want them to get to. So many leaders make this mistake where they try to force people to do certain things, where they try to push people to do certain things. That doesn't work. If you push people, usually you push them away. But if you pull people, they'll come with you as far as you want to take them. Well, how do you pull someone? By meeting them where they're at. Find out where their headspace is at, how much commitment and how much priority they truly are putting into this thing, what their goals are. And if you can meet them where they're at and help them get to the next level, and then help them to get to the next level after that, eventually you may be able to bring some of them to the same level as you. But the final thing, as I mentioned it again, and I'll mention it one more time because I think it's so important, don't be forceful, be influential. So I hope you apply the things that you learn. I hope it's helpful. Look, I talked about work ethic earlier on, where I said the 3 major things that are required for major success is for you to outwork, out-improve, and out-strategize your competition. If you wanna know how you can increase that work ethic so you can buy that ticket to the journey of success, I got an amazing video for you. If you click right here, I got a video that teaches you in 4 simple steps how you can improve your work ethic the way that I did. I'm sure you're gonna love it. Click right here and you can watch it. Please subscribe, click the bell so you can get notified every time you have a new video. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next clip. Bye-bye.